Welcome, I am the Moonshin King. However, you are very creepy to you. Today I am going to be unveiling a few comic books, a comic book haul that I hauled 3 days ago, 2 days ago, who can say. But now I'm finally getting around to it. My little baggie. I got some from the comic book store, so I hope you will be intrigued to see what I have discovered. This has been my first trip in quite a while, actually, to buying comics. But as I was in there anyway, I just could not help it. It is a weakness, seeing all that extraordinary artwork. I cannot help my crimes. I have to purchase for me. So I'll see you to you. Look what I have for you, Forbidden Planet. This is the name of my crimes, of the comic book store. They also sell other interesting things like figurines as well as Funko Pops, loads of Funko Pops. They sell big art coffee books, such as the art concepts for video games and movies and TV series. They also sell lots of books like Game of Thrones, lots of things that are geeky and the nerdy. Harry Potter, indeed. So, Matilda was telling me, she's a subscriber, about how long the Walking Dead series is. And I saw today in the store so many graphic novels, The Walking Dead. But I was a bit confused because I started reading The Walking Dead on my review channel, the Moonshin Reviews, but it wasn't the same graphic novel that I saw as being volume 1, so that was interesting. It did not seem to be the same, with the guy waking up in the hospital, and then I forgot what the guy's name was, but that story did not seem the same unless I missed something, so I was curious there. But anyway, let's open up what I discovered and what I purchased, shall we? The first, I better be delicate with my grubby fingers. The first we have the Batman here. It is Batman 71. Home Invasion, it's called. Now, the reason I bought this was because it looks very interesting to me. We have Bane. We have 2 Batmans. Look, we have a Batman here and we have a Batman here. 2 Batmans, and that really intrigued me. I liked this cover. I was intrigued about the idea. I've not been following the comics, but this one brought my attention to you. So that's the reveal indeed. The next. Batman Who Laughs, number 4. Now, I have been seeing references to Batman Who Laughs quite regularly when I visit. Very gothic looking Batman. He seems to be related to the Joker in some way. The monster inside. I don't know the story. I'm a bit confused, but I saw a figurine. Which was my first exposure to this concept. A very cool. It was called like Joker Batman or something. And actually today, a really cool figure. I'd love to have it, but figurines are quite expensive, and that money could go towards a new camera or microphone. So not really necessary to purchase, but neither were these really. But these are much cheaper, but they add up. That's the great fallacy. You buy lots of little things thinking, oh, it's no big deal. But it's the little things you should watch out for. The little things is the stuff that builds up to a lot of money. And you don't even realize it. Because you don't intend to spend a lot of money. But it's dangerous. It's a fool's errand indeed. As you can tell, a very cool cover. I saw a Funko Pop of this Batman who laughs. Very creepy. I would have bought it, but again, I don't want to get sucked into Funko Pops again. Maybe after I've read the story and appreciate it, hopefully it will still be around. Knowing my luck, the Funko Pops will probably be high in value. It will probably one of those Funko Pops that they don't release much of. I'm not talking about it. It wasn't a chase. But, you know, sometimes ordinary looking Funko Pops have limited releases and you don't even realize until much later on. And then value skyrockets and you can't get one. But I'm very intrigued of reading this. I also got... Oh yes, this is a much better image. Look at this for you. This is Batman Who Laughs number 5. I should really get number 1, 2, and 3, but I could not see them on the shelves. So, yes, I might go back one day to search. I might not. It's a 6-issue mini-series, as it says here. And look, that's definitely a mix of Batman and the Joker and something else entirely. Creepy, gory for sure. So that's really what drew me to this. An excellent cover indeed. Very appealing to me. Great artwork. And, well, the Funko Pop was actually a black version of this, as was the figurine. I say figurine, but it's more like the ones that you put on a mantelpiece or something. That's just not used to play with. It's used to look at as like a centerpiece. You know, like comic geeks, they all have these figurines. Like one of those expensive models. So I do want to get the others in the series. There's only 6. So I might as well search for them one day. So what else? Boba Fett for you. Boba Fett number 1 variant edition. Really liked this cover. There were other covers, but this was definitely the best. I've not read the I have read the Star Wars comic on my review channel. It was a free comic book day one. Rather uneventful, honestly. I do have other Star Wars comics, but that I have yet to read. I will hopefully read those one day. They're in the box up there still, which I've yet to open indeed. So, great cover for sure. I kind of wish I started collecting Star Wars comics and not the Batman ones, because Batman, it always, you know, comic books always get rebooted, these superheroes, and rebirthed and different dimensions, whereas Star Wars now, it has a canon. The new Star Wars comics are part of the canon, which means it's part of the official story. So I kind of do regret not collecting the Star Wars comics, but look at this Jabba the Hutt. I had no clue there was a Jabba the Hutt comic series, but this is number 1 concept design variant. A problem with me is that I really struggle to decide between things if I like both of them. I was really drawn to, not this one actually, I was drawn to another one, a different cover. And it was a really good cover. It looked also photogenic, is that the word? Photorealistic of Jabba the Hutt. But I decided to go with the concept design variant in the end, because I've never really seen a concept design variant cover before, and it looked very unique. Not the greatest art ever, but just because it was a concept art and because it looks kind of creepy, I went with it instead. I'm guessing this one's also more rare. I'm guessing this is there's not as many copies as this as there are the other one. I could be wrong, and I don't think it matters much on the whole, but I'm going to assume that if I wanted to find this again, it would be less likely for me to find. I think this was the only one on the shelf, the concept design variant, but there were multiples of the other ones. There were at least 3 versions of the Jabba the Hutt that I saw. This is from Star Wars Age of Rebellion, indeed. Ah, and here's the reveal. I've left perhaps the most significant to last. Batman Detective Comics number 1000 landmark issue. Look at that. Now, I know Matilda, she has a version of this. I actually saw that version on the shelf. I decided not to go for that one, even though it looks really nice. There were other ones that didn't look too great, in my opinion, variant ones. Not bad, just not that exciting for 1000th comic book. Front cover, 96-page giant. Again, I was torn actually, because there was, like I said, there were other variants. And this actually, I'm guessing this is the most common version, because this is the standard cover, but it's a great cover. But I was torn between this one and another cover which had Batman and Robin on the front, but it was Batman and Robin from The Dark Knight Returns. Graphic novel by Frank Miller, and I really like that comic, and I was very torn because that was also a variant, so I'm guessing there were less of those ones if this is the standard. But it's also because I really like The Dark Knight Returns. It's a great story. I like the movie and the graphic novel. They adapted it into an animated movie. 2 animated movies, part 1 and part 2. Really great for me. And but in the end I went with this standard version. What I often do is that if I can't decide between 2 things, whether it's a sandwich and a pasta for my lunch, whether it's 2 different gifts, whatever it is, I usually resolve these matters by buying everything. I buy everything if I can't decide. That's why I waste a lot of money on comics, buying the same comic but variant covers, simply because I like the art of all of them and can't decide which to get. But in this case I pressured myself to make a decision, so I went with Boba Fett. Boba Fett wasn't that difficult to choose because it was clearly the best in my opinion. But Jabba the Hutt was quite difficult to choose because clearly the art isn't that great on this. But it was a concept design, and that's why I chose it in the end. I chose this one over the Dark Knight Returns themed cover because look at the back. Look at that very nice back you have there. Now, on the back of the variant Dark Knight Returns cover, guess what was on the back? It was an advertisement for Shazam, the movie. And that turned me off indeed. But on the back of this, we don't have a silly advert for a movie. We have a very nice, accommodating artwork which complements the cover and the comic very nicely. So that's really what helped me to decide. And I'm quite thankful for that because I might have been there for another hour or so. It's a great cover and I'm looking forward to reading it one day. I still have comics in that box up there and in my folder down there somewhere that I've not read, even though I bought the comics 2 years ago. I just bought loads of comics and never read them, but I'll get there one day. At least I have enough comics to last me a lifetime or so. I just need to be careful not to overflow for sure. So that's Batman Detective Comics 1000. I was actually surprised to see it in the comic store. I thought they might have all sold out by now. It has been quite some time since the number 1000 was released, but there were quite a few. I think there were about 3 or 4 of these, and there was other variants, probably at least 10 left. So I was grateful for me for sure, but I hope you stay with you indeed. Oh wait! What did you think of those comics? Have you purchased any of these? Do you want to own any of these? Are you intrigued by the Batman Who Laughs? I have no idea the significance of the story, but I bet it's going to be one of those iconic storylines that people talk about for many years to come. I can tell it's looking to be quite iconic indeed, so... Ha 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 ha! So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Not sure why you would, to be honest, but you might have been intrigued by my comic looting. Oh no, not looting. I'm not a thief yet. But, well, I did steal... No, someone accused me of stealing candy when I was a baby. But it was a lie! It was a lie! Just because I put it up my sleeve doesn't make me a thief to you. So, thank you for watching. I hope you stay with you. If you're interested in comics, please subscribe to my review channel. I'm going to be reviewing. I have reviewed and will continue to review lots of comics over there and other geeky things, hopefully. And tell me your thoughts, show me your crimes, and remember, jump on that subscribe button if you would like to eat the cheese. Farewell, my munchins. Take care, my munchins. Ah! Thank you.